Hey everyone, welcome once again to the jmamie.com for our very first episode of Survive to Thrive TV. I'm so excited to bring you the first episode here because our guest today really is a phenomenal person, and I couldn't think of someone better to open up our inaugural episode for Survive to Thrive TV than one of the premier speakers and authors right now in the country. Him and his wife, Chris Felton and Marlo Felton, really are now one of the premier couples that speak on the topic of couples money, which happens to be their top-selling book. And you're going to have a chance to hear their story in just a minute. I happened to find Chris at a local event that we were both speaking at, and I thought if I could grab him for a few minutes and just have him zone in on a few ideas I can share, that he can share with all of us to help us all begin to thrive in our lives, then I would grab him, and I was fortunate enough to do that. So when I come back, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about his resources. But for right now, first episode of Survive to Thrive TV, here we go. Hey everybody, Jay Mamie here from the jmamie.com. Very excited about the next 8 minutes here that we're going to have together, because standing next to me, is Chris Felton. I'm just excited to have Chris Felton be a part of our show today, because him and his wife, Marlo, has done tremendous things for couples in their own program, and they're successful authors and top authors on Amazon in terms of helping couples with money. And Chris is someone that I admire because he's had a major life change. He's one of these guys that had a chance to go from really struggling to striving. And of course, that's the theme of our show. So when I found out that he was at an event, I wanted to get close to him and pick his brain a little bit and then share with you guys what's in his head and the things that he had to go through in order to take himself from point A to point B. So guys, I want you to help me welcome Chris Felton. Chris, you wrote a great book called Couples Money. And I want you to share with our listeners and our readers and our viewers, what was the purpose of that book and what was your intent when you decided to write that book?
Well, my wife really wrote it. Okay. But because of the title, she slapped my name on it. But no, we were at the edge of a financial cliff. We had accumulated, $250,000 in unsecured debt. We were bleeding about $6-7 grand a month in negative cash flow, and we had a blowout fight one night, and we just, instead of trying to kill each other and declare bankruptcy and file for divorce, we decided to join together and change our lives. And so what she did is she said, well, we obviously need to think different. So she spent 2 years basically interviewing multi-gajillionaire couples that had wealth, not only financially, but in all areas of their life. And we learned how they thought. We applied it to our lives. We applied the tactics, and then we transformed our relationship with money, we transformed our thinking, and we transformed our life. And so the book is really about that, how to go from broke to really financially free in a short period of time by doing what we learned and applying it to our lives. So that's the gist of the book.
I know you personally went through some challenges early on, and a lot of our viewers are people that are trying to figure out, how do I go from a place where I might be discouraged or depressed to a place where I can rise above that? What changes do I need to make in order to really excel in my life? And Chris's personal story really exemplifies going from a place where he wasn't happy to a place now he's doing fantastic in his business, in his speaking business, book business. So I want to ask you, at what point did you realize things had to change, and what did you do to change?
Well, it was the night we had the blowout, right? That was kind of our line in the same moment. And what I realized was, wherever I had a problem, I've always been there. You notice that, right? Yeah. Wherever I've had a
You're the common denominator of your problems.
I was the common denominator of all my problems, and I just took, personal responsibility for our situation. And one of the things I teach people is accepting where you are. And acceptance, sometimes that's a weird thing for people. Acceptance isn't about loving it. It's not about approving it. It's about approving of it. It's about facing reality so you can make a decision about how to move forward. And so we have all these things in our lives that we don't like, and if we push against it and resist it, it actually pushes back. And one of the talks I've been giving all over the country is basically, how do you become unstuck? People get stuck. You know it. You see them year after year at big events, and they're the same damn person, and they make a commitment to go for it. They're not, because they're not changing personally. And so once we just, instead of hating our situation, once we kind of accepted it, then we're able to move, right? Versus continuing to hate it, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. And then the body follows the mind.
That's right.
So if you're always focusing on what you don't like, you just keep bringing it back in your life. So accept it and then get moving on to what it is you want to create. Because you can't create with all that energy going towards that. You know, it's not It's not time management. It's energy management.
That's right.
Yeah.
Time management. It's not time management. It's energy management, guys. I hope you caught that.
Yeah.
Chris, so what would you say to a viewer that's watching this segment who might not be someone that is, because we have a lot of viewers here.
Yeah.
We may have someone there right now that's watching this who's just coming out of prison. Someone who's got a lot of beliefs that aren't really congruent with their dreams or what they want to do now that they're out there. Or you may have a student. We have a lot of student followers that are looking to know what their next course of life is. I mean, we have all sorts of folks that are watching this video. And what would you say to the person that is at a crossroad, like you were at one time, or you knew something had to change? What would you say to them that they have to start doing first before they can really start thinking about what tomorrow brings? What has to happen now?
Well, for me, when I'm struggling, and I love the fact that you define that group. I don't think it really matters where you're coming from. You got to get really, really clear about what you want, and you got to get crystal clear. And you and I talk all over the country, and that's a topic that I always bring up to people. And I think they just kind of write it in their notes and go, "Oh yeah, I got to get clear," and then they put their notes away. But actually scheduling time and sitting down and really, really thinking about what it is you really, really want to get out of your life. What do you want that to look like? And getting that written, and then creating what I call the compelling emotional reasons for why you want that to happen. Okay. All right, because most people try to logically plan their life and logically go after things. And you know the world class use emotions. So I would just ask, whether you're coming out of prison or come out of college or entering your business, what do you really want to create? Why do you really want to create it?
Yeah.
And then you look at the 60,000 foot level and you go look at it every day for 5 to 10 minutes. And then you got to come down to the 1 foot level, right?
Okay.
What do I want? What's next? That became the predominant thought process in my life was, what do I want? What's the next thing I need to do? What do I want? What's the next thing I need to do? And most people that struggle, they really discount small steps and how powerful compounding is. I mean, you and I are successful because it's just been, the compounding of small things over a period of time it's phenomenal. So instead of trying to make this big drastic shift, which most people try, and then they don't get the results and they beat the crap out of themselves and they stay stuck. That's been my message this year, is how to get unstuck. You got to really small step this thing.
So final question, and I'm glad you said small step. You've got somebody that says, okay, Chris, I get the picture. You are now where you want to be. I know we can never be satisfied with where we want to be. We're always pushing for more. But what would you say to that person that is sold out on the fact that, okay, I've got to make some changes. I've got to get rid of head trash. I've got to let my energy flow to a better place. What would you say to them right now? They get done with this video. What would be the action step you would give them that possibly you took in order to get them unstuck and on their way to their goals and dreams?
Well, I mean, you got to have some form of a plan to grow you. I mean, that's it. I mean, my life changed when I hung my hat on, actually a major leader that we work with say, grow you, everything else will handle itself. So once I said, okay, I can actually control the growth of me, and I don't need to worry about all this out here. I just focus on me. I focus on growing me. And the coach I worked with for years, the analogy that he gave was he said, your life right now is like a hourglass of black sand. And it was. I mean, it was crap, man. It was bad news. He said, and you're not going to change your life in 21 days. Okay. And you've been thinking a certain way for so long, it's not going to spin out in 21 days. So be kind to yourself. Very crucial. Love, approve, and accept of yourself is really one of the root of all personal development needs to lead to that road. But he said, just drop a little piece of gold in there every day. And that's for me, it's 30, 45 minutes, hour, whatever it is in the morning, of having some morning routine that I can stick with and then you drop that little piece of gold in there every single day, and then you wake up one day and you're like, holy crap, man, it's all gold. Right? So growing, you having some form of routine every day where you're putting growth into your plan, and you wake up, and then the outside world's going to match the internal, and that's good stuff. So
Excellent.
yeah.
So, guys, let me summarize what Chris just said, was really powerful. If you're going to go from thriving to surviving, he said, have a plan to grow you. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the first step. Have a plan to grow you. Chris, we appreciate you being on the show today.
Yeah.
How can people get your resources? How can they find you?
Yeah, couplesmoney.com. And so a couple things we got there is a lot of my talks, a lot of Marlo's talks. We got our book out there. You and I were just talking about our mastermind that we have called our Couples Money Forum. Anyway, couplesmoney.com. We're on Audible, Amazon, whatever. So that's where our stuff is. So I appreciate you a bunch, and I appreciate you guys listening, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Guys, come back for more at thejmamie.com, Survive to Thrive TV show. We've got more to come. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview with Chris Felton. If you want to have more information about Chris and his wife, you can go to their website, buildadreamlife.com. In the meantime, make sure you come back and check out our website for more of these videos. And don't forget, subscribe. Talk to you soon.